Hello, everybody.
Hello, Wo.
Welcome to DevKami number 121. So, what is technically the Chinese New Year episode? So, in
Yeah,
this
because
COVID session,
yeah
in
we were
this
tra-
COVID
we were planning
situation,
to do it last week, but
yes,
we can't make I can't make it. Sorry about
okay,
it.
I actually celebrate Chinese New Year, so I just don't do it. But in
In a
this
way, the
economic
celebration
situation,
is pretty fun this year. You just sit
yeah,
at home, yeah, like
yes,
like 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 our usual weekend.
yes. And I managed to avoid my extended family, so the usual thing. Things that happen every Chinese New Year and all that. So for Chinese New Year, I wish you all live long and prosper.
Yeah, live long
Yes,
and prosper. That's literally what the normal Chinese wishes is.
Mm.
yes. And as a result, I can conclude that Vulcans is actually Chinese. They are logical. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but
done.
a very capitalistic Vulcan
Yes,
race.
yes. So it's very
But
difficult
So
actually.
apparently, capitalism is very rational and logical, right?
yeah,
Like
Yes,
that's
yes.
why we tend
it's very
towards that.
There is
natural.
also,
It's a natural thing.
yeah. So, but it's also the thing is human are not rational. That's all. I have my complaint about economics theory, but let's not go there now.
No, I think it's for certain population to that is our population of mutation. But in
Yeah,
general, the most of the like in terms of organism, most of them are pretty stable. It's pretty rational.
yeah, correct,
The irrational part is we need the irrational part in order to evolve,
correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's start
Either
with
I
our
either it's a good trait or it's a cancer.
yeah, correct.
Choose one.
So let's start with our event. We have tech up this weekend.
That guy is back again this year.
Yep, yep. So you can go to detail at devkami.com/meetups. And yeah, all the links is there.
Yeah.
So it will start from Saturday to Monday. Then
Wow,
the next one next week.
wow.
Uh-huh. Okay. So
Yeah,
the
but
next
No
one,
no go
which
no.
platform is this on? Zoom or
I
Google
don't
Meet?
know.
Mm.
I don't know.
So I think it's to be announced.
Yeah, to
Mm.
be announced.
And
So the
looking
next
at the
one.
date,
Yep.
February is actually a short month.
Yes, it is a short month. This is not a leap year. This is not a leap year. So we only have 28 days. So the modulus of 4 is not 0. So just so you know. So the next event will be Junior Dev. Uh, it will be online. Kevin will put more detail later, but as usual, if you join the meetup.com page, you will get the detail there. So, as usual, it will be on our user platform, YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But it's our it's our secret clubhouse.
yeah,
And it supports your TV.
yes. So, if you happen to able to join Clubhouse, apparently there is a lot of good discussion there as well. So, if you're interested, you can join.
Yeah.
Not for me because I don't have an iDevice at home, so it's just a meeting. So let's move on. We have GraphQR Asia happening from Wednesday next week. Uh, so you can go to GraphQR.asia, and this will happen from Wednesday to Thursday. So two-day event, and I think that's about it. I think that's about it for events next week. Anything else that I forget that nobody?
No?
Well, actually,
Mm.
There's no
actually,
Golem
there's
meetup.
yeah, there's no bowling meetup, correct?
There's no Golem.
Oh yeah, there's
Anything
a
we recently have we recently have another secret clubhouse somewhere. So if you are in the
yeah,
Slack channel, you discover that. Join that up. If we'll just do a casual sharing there.
Yeah.
Also to evaluate Discord a bit for this thing.
Yes. So also slightly a detour. 5 a.m. Actually, it's 4:55 a.m. Malaysian time. 3:55 p.m. Eastern. The Mars rover Perseverance will land on Mars. So it will be like 4:55, but by the time wake up at 5, they will get. They should only by then they get the result because there was 7 minutes of terror in which the broadcast we entry then 7 minutes of from space to ground will take 7 minutes, and they won't know whether they will fail or
But
successful.
didn't the Chinese one get there first?
Yeah, they're in orbit first, but the Chinese did not announce any. They did not announce any landing. I mean, they have a lander and a rover, but they did not actually announce whether they have already landed or in the process. So it just so that as NASA they just do it live as much as they can, limited by actual physics. So yeah, if you're into space thing, 5 a.m. Malaysian time. So that's one.
The space race is back again.
Yeah, and also Dubai had an orbiter as well. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to see. I'm a space fan, as you know, so there's that.
Like you like staring into space.
Yeah, recently I developed a hobby of stargazing. So,
Yeah.
but it's a good thing that Mars is getting crowded by robots, not humans. Okay, no, I'm crazy. So let's talk about our bus corner. So what happened here is I actually squeezed 2 weeks of bus corner. So yeah, let's start with the first one. So JetBrains actually had a state of Go report. They used to do that for Python, but now they're also doing for Go.
Because
So
they
here's-
have an editor for Go.
Yes, precisely.
Oh, that's a nice GIF.
Yes. So the first one is 1.1 million Go developer.
Also, this is the demographic that uses JetBrains lah. So it doesn't represent the population in whole.
Yeah, but still, that's
It's
a
still
lot of
quite a lot.
JetBrains licenses.
Yes.
What's the
These
name?
guys are
Golang.
rich.
Mm.
Yes.
But then again, apparently that's the best
This
ID.
is it's not just it's just that the Golang user. I did the survey as well. But
Okay.
I'm not a Golang user, so
They
Just,
have a tendency.
apparently
this,
it's pretty big in Asia.
Yes, which is very interesting. Which is actually very interesting because where are they? But apparently in China. So
China.
because they are in firewall. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
for
by
sure.
population, by statistical distribution.
Yeah, actually that's true as well. That's true as well. So, but Japan also that it's also not. Japan also, yeah, it makes sense because it has a.
I think you should make the font size larger.
Okay, let me do
Yeah,
that.
because the screen share. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Japan is interesting because, but then my Japan's bubble is the Python Japan people. So
I
do
thought
not-
Japan, the bubble for Japan is Ruby because Ruby
No.
came from Japan.
There are a lot of people, like companies, still using Ruby, but
Yeah.
it's also interesting that a lot of Ruby developers, instead of like their other language, basically the language that they learn next is not Elixir or something similar. It's actually Go. So that's
Yeah.
actually the interesting thing about
Uh,
the Ruby developers. The if you are going to learn a language that's compiled and typed strong, like statically typed, then you go with Go instead of something else, which is interesting.
yeah, very interesting.
Also, one trend I also noticed that India only pretty
Yeah,
bottom.
I'm surprised because India actually has a pretty big conference, Go conference.
I think in
And
India
also-
there's a lot of Java developers, and they tend to stick with Java.
Yeah, by professional, I think. This
Yeah,
is.
professional.
Okay. So let's go down. The type of industry they do. They usually check. So Go, of course, is a language that migrated over. It won't be the first language, but instead of from PHP, they go from C++ and C Sharp, which somewhat makes sense. Is because the type of application that you build on C and C++ have tendency to be the same type.
Yeah.
Whereas
Not really
So if
like
you-
on the embedded side, but more like for the to build
backend,
servers.
you build servers and all that. It makes sense. Go is not the language for embedded, as far as I know. It's a runtime limitation. So it's possible if you build a runtime for your embedded devices, but for now it's mostly for system, your servers, and all that. So yeah. Anything else you want to look at? And also one of the driver, of course, is the infrastructure, because a lot of the modern infrastructure actually built on Go. So if you extend on it, as a result, it makes sense to
I don't know about
Oh, I
application
see.
development though. Like, why would you need
yeah.
Kubernetes? Like, why would it be important for Kubernetes to be written in Go if you're an application developer?
It's a hype
Actually,
train.
I'm not
Uh,
extending Kubernetes.
It's just a hype train.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible.
It's something that validates the usage, I guess.
Yeah. But Go is not the first language. The top language is, of course, Java. This is actually a trend that we already seen every
It's
year from the
the
TICO
the
survey.
JavaScript side is actually a bit mixed because like all of us we use JavaScript, especially when we do
Yeah,
web.
correct.
But
It's true.
we don't know the extent about the Node.js population versus the vanilla JS on the browser.
Yeah.
The
So
usage is
Kyrie
a
is
bit different.
correct. Kyrie is also asking,
No.
is it adjusted by population size? I believe this is actually a bit earlier on this. I believe likely, but no, I believe it's unlikely, because this is actually whoever that have actually answered the survey and can answer the survey. So the answer is not always. It may not be adjusted by population size.
It's just a trend.
Correct.
Yeah. No, the percentage is like percentage of people who answered the
Yeah,
survey.
everybody. Yeah,
It's not like
everyone.
4%, but adjusted to China, because China has a lot of people. Then you actually have like
Yeah.
less, basically, because China has larger populations or something like that. No, so this is just plain numbers.
Correct. So the type of software that we build with Go is that web services is one of these, because servers, you can build the servers and application together quite easily in Go. So web service, of course, then utilities. Utilities is a one-time script. I do not know about that. System software makes sense.
You decline as
So-
somebody use Rust.
I have my doubt, but possible. It's possible. I give it a 50-50 because
The competition is also C++ is getting also more modern.
correct. A lot of modern features are integrated in new version of C++ and all that. Sean will really tell you more on that. So he's a big supporter of C++. So yeah, I love language work. I mean, I do not like
It's just a
but I love
tool.
language work. Yes. So the build utilities, IT infrastructure, because it will extend existing tools, definitely, libraries, framework, system software, and all that. You can see not many web applications, but the web services.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Servers.
Although the latest one, the Go embedded, I forgot how you call it, the key embed,
Go embed.
like various, Go embed. I think that will propel the web frameworks and the websites and the web applications, because now it's so much easier. You don't even need Docker. You just copy the binary over, and then if you don't
Like
mind not running an
your-
Nginx server, yeah.
Your templates will be included.
yeah.
Like the whole deployment process is so much easier.
So
You don't even need to expose API unless you want a multiple server setup, you don't need to expose web services API calls, because you can just like do everything in inter process calls within Go itself.
Cool. I think I should try that. That looks interesting. So next one is where the industry goes.
This is where it goes. It goes downhill. Like fintech. Unfortunately, if I want to say from the exposure, fintech means that it's most likely cryptocurrency related.
Yeah, and the auto trading thing.
Yeah.
Yes. But that being said, algorithmic trading traditionally is always been an area for C++ and Java.
We have some committee member in local Go committee member. Whenever we mention or we try to talk about something about blockchain, we get the unwanted crowd. So in a way, we have a soft ban of anything cryptocurrency related.
Yeah,
or blockchain. Because people will log in to get tips on which one to bet on instead they just don't see it as a tech talk at all.
Correct.
But that's the point, right? They don't want to introduce it as something tech related to lower the barrier to entry. Like something like you don't.
No, it's actually not
an ATM machine
people that are interested to. No, it's not even people that are interested in. It's that normal people who want tips for, because blockchain is mentioned, they'll just attend all events. They're not even people that want to learn stuff. They're there to wait for the tips on which one to speculate on.
So they're actually waiting for Elon Musk type of tweet.
Yeah. So in a way, like we had a soft ban on this topic. So unfortunately.
And this is why DevKami don't talk about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, whenever you put the word in, you get a lot of views, but the attention you get is really irrelevant.
Yeah. Correct.
Well, Swimming, if you want your embedded talk to be successful, you can say how to mine the blockchain using
Arduino.
You can.
Or you like follow this format, like how I get fired from using from building an embedded system, so that or how I fail, how an embedded engineer fail a Google interview.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. Cloud computing and platform. I think this makes sense in a way that because it's our Go is used to build these tools. If they expand on it, therefore.
I think the gradual trend is going to Rust for the especially the IO intensive operation. So
if
it's very timing sensitive, then you would probably go for Rust.
Yeah, like especially when you do a lot of bit pushing around those, you benefit from Rust.
But I don't. So as a result, I think next year this will be a bit smaller because Rust is getting bigger when it comes to database work.
Yeah. The big dynamic because it was more widespread in Python because there were a lot of existing ecosystem. I don't think Go is suitable for that yet. For in terms of the syntax, it's not. There's a lot of things that the design is very, very not high level.
Well, maybe if you need a good UI in a sense for those, then you just write it in Python or Ruby. And you write the actual heavy worker on Go or Rust.
Actually, most of the libraries in Python is actually interfaces to a C library.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you just want a good experience in writing something, if you're exploring something, you want the proper repo, you want like mutating variables, then just do it like that. That's why people ended up doing it like that.
Correct. But then you also to re-implement all those again is a lot of work because for Python it's almost 20 plus years of implementing those things. And optimizing and doing it in C and building the interfaces. That's why it's the initial phase is hard simply because
I think it's gonna be the
I
use
think that-
case for big data is gonna be workers,
correct.
Mhm.
It's more likely to be
things that
and
like push things around that they do things.
Correct. Mobile
For
development
and for
sorry.
if I want a quick analysis, I'll just put up Python.
Yeah,
It's a
correct.
no-brainer. Like it's so much easier to use.
Yes. So mobile development is interesting, but you know why? But I think we should cover that and move on because we've got quite a few.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Package
stuff.
managers,
Modules, yeah, it's the default now.
yeah,
What's the
Mux,
default router? Gorilla Mux.
Gorilla. A lot of people use Gorilla. I'm on standard library most of the time.
yes.
So I
Is
can
there a
have my
standard
magic.
library router?
Yeah,
There is a standard
it's called
library
a
router.
Mux. It's called a Mux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Framework. You don't need a framework.
Yeah, but
I'm actually being opinionated. You don't need a framework. Move on.
built-in
Built-in testing.
testing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is battery included. That's
Yes. So
Yeah, okay.
Go have as much battery. So can I
So
move on to
next-
the next one?
Haskell now, since December, I think they have a
Yep.
foundation now.
Yes.
Also,
And
I'm not sure if you covered that. Rust also is now a foundation as well.
yeah. Wait.
Just
Give me a moment.
oh, okay. Oh, it's joined Rust. Rust foundation is new as well. It's you got it wrong.
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry. Let's start with this
it's
one.
also new. Because they it's now donated by Mozilla, lah. So they're on their own
correct.
now.
Yes. So okay, I don't have that in Rust Corner,
It's
but
the title is a bit. The title is actually a bit misleading because that was the day where Rust Foundation is announced, and Google is also one of the early foundation members.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it made like Rust Foundation is there. They just joined, so it's.
So either way, Rust is a language that I want to learn. I look at it a little. I need to practice. So the thing about Rust is I need to practice to build it.
You need to get used to the compiler.
Yeah, correct.
The compiler will take care of you.
Because Go and Rust, in a way, they are competitor. In a
Not
way
a competitor.
that they want to build. They want to bring the new ideas.
People like to bring them together, but they are not competitor. They are aimed at different purposes.
Yeah, correct. I find Go a bit more high level, which is why it's easier to use to me, but they're just me.
Rust is actually higher level. You have more expression with Rust. It's just that the compiler is very strict, so that is something you have to learn and get used to. But it's just the compiler will take care for you.
Okay.
But do you know about? I'm not sure if you know about Trivial. If you try to implement a bubble sort in Rust, the compiler will warn you about that because it's not efficient. So that's how much the compiler is hand-holding you.
Okay.
So they're gonna tell you to use a more efficient algorithm like quicksort.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Haskell is now a foundation.
Yeah, it's a style of
It's more
foundation.
like there's now a foundation for Haskell programming language. So this organization will actually help the supporting ecosystem tools and etc.
Prepare it, help to standardize, and also do outreach.
Correct. So in a way, it's very similar to programming languages foundations. Python is one of those. So and Python Software Foundation, they fund Python development. They also put as in they throw money on it, and they also run the conference, etc., etc. And there's a Python conference as well, the regional one.
I just saw this.
Yeah. So yeah. Yes, it is true. It is true. I think Rust is a very interesting language. So either way, foundation. This foundation is actually one reason why you should take the idea of non-profits very seriously, because this is not a companies and all that. So a non-profit exists, and one of the reasons to support programming languages. One of those things. So I'm going to move on because we got nothing more to add. Do you guys have anything more to add? If not, I'm going to move on.
Nothing much to add. Is
Okay.
these are the stuff we added right to the Wascon.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. This one
So
is really good, but
which
it's
one? This
actually
one?
not new.
Yeah.
Wait, but it's a wrong link. About
Which
the
one? Which
GitHub
one?
10s
Oh, I open later. Okay, let's
1s.
talk about this
Oh,
one first.
this is interesting. I think you should show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the example for VS Code.
But if you're on GitLab, if you enable the code edit, it will actually show you a VS Code interface as well. Do you know
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah.
For
Oh, I
on
didn't
GitLab,
know. Now I know.
yeah, on
Now
GitLab.
I know.
If you enable the beta version of the code edit on GitLab, or ClickX
Yeah.
Cloud, it's actually the interface is actually a VS Code.
Right.
Yeah. So
Let me
this is
show.
for the GitHub. Yeah.
I try to open the DevKami one. So this our website. This our website. So in GitHub 1s, so you can see
Yeah.
all the things that you can
They
do
added the
on there.
disclaimer because I think a lot of people they mistook it as an official product from GitHub.
Yeah. So yeah, you
Well, if
get all
I were
the
GitHub though, I would like try and see if I can get something like this. Although
Yeah.
GitHub does have their own editor, the Atom editor, then again, GitHub got bought by Microsoft, so it's very complicated like that. But yeah, if I were in GitHub, I would be in talks with the author of like taking over this, because this is much better than their built-in editor in GitHub.
yes, correct. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good tool. Explore it. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Next one, just something high level shell providing renewable energy for Amazon because server is an energy hog. So yeah, that's my complaint. You have to use it, but the energy hog. So that's one. Yes, another one is I never used this before, but so one of the Android emulator, Nox Player, is actually used to introduce malware to PC.
Yeah, a lot of people are using it to play games on PC.
Yes, and apparently some actually use this as bot, etc. Because you can. Uh, I will not judge how people use software because obviously there is good use for these tools. For example, let's say you have certain software that is on Android only, or you have some data that on the software that's on Android only. So this kind of emulator is good for integration. So yeah, just be careful. Just be careful because anything that can run this is also dangerous. So something to think about. So yes, it's dangerous, but it's also provide you some with utilities for you to do things. So let's move on to the next one. We did cover Google. We covered this. MCO.
No winner. A lot of
Yeah, there's two
losers.
winners here. Yes, correct. So
I spoiled it.
and you thought
I think you
that
need to make the phone larger.
and you would thought that uh, we would have a growth and all that during the quarantine, but not
Which one
much
is the
because
one that goes negative? You mobile?
yeah, you mobile.
Oh,
You mobile have been a bit, and also DG also go on negative.
oh yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, disclaimer: I'm on DG, but then I'm too.
I'm on DG. I actually had 2 days of internet downtime last year during NCO. It was horrible because the line normally it's okay, but it just doesn't work back
Okay, okay, okay,
when
okay.
I need it. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have that kind of problem. I had problem last year when I tried to do DevKami, but this before I bought the alpha USB wireless thing. So it could be the signal, so I can't tell anymore. So either way, I hope that
I
actually
think I remember
some
there's
of
a
this
chart of the winner and losers, right?
I don't know. I think they may drop it already. You mean this one? This one? Is it this one?
Yeah, no, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a ranking. Okay, so let's move on.
Uh, Okay, so this one I'm not going to click the link. If you just select on Android, change your password because the Android client actually stored password in plain text locally. This is actually interesting, but I saved.
So speaking of that, I actually haven't updated my Android application. So I turned off automatic upgrades on Android.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm even affected on this one. I mean, I didn't receive any message, or did they send an email?
No, they didn't send an email though, but I need to change the password either way.
No, I think
LastPass
they
is-
did. I think they did.
Oh, they did actually. They did.
I think they did.
Yeah, just want to
Yeah, I never received any.
This is a long article. I think we just skip the link.
Yeah. Just go to the. I will put the link. I will put the proper link later. I forget about the links. So either way, what they do is they actually, the researcher actually messed up with the dependencies and got inside the 35 company. Some of them are the big one, so it's a pretty big attack. But this is actually research that they just it's what we call disclosure. So they show how one can break into a system and all that. So the details is on the links on devkami.com. So it's really fascinating and it's actually very comprehensive at this thing. So yeah. So not security guy, I hope somebody among the security community will help summarize it better for me. So let's move on. Mobile Money Lion goes public with the merger for 2.9 billion deals. What it means is that one of our community members is going rich. I would not say who. Actually, I don't even know whether he will be actually rich.
It's actually a few.
Yeah. Yes. Whoever actually do get some paid bump just by a data rate when the whole quarantine is over. So yeah. So the next one, this is actually an interesting story. I hope this is the right one. So .so domain name is actually owned by Somalia. Somalia is actually effectively a failed state, but they for some reason still own the domain name, so it makes things
No, it's their TLD.
TLD. I'm sorry, top level domain. So it's interesting, put it this way. So yeah, it's something to think about every time you try to get some very cool domain name. For example, if you got something .in, this is India, is it .in?
Yeah.
Then let's say you want to get like something .my, then you have to check the rules for Malaysia, but with Malaysian, so things are easy. So .ng, Nigeria. So something, let's say I want swimming .erm. Now I need to double check whether I'm allowed to register something .ng because the TLD belongs to Nigeria, so I need to check the rules for registering for Nigeria. So I can't easily register swimming
Yeah, and also some are owned by, like, let's say .dev is owned by Google.
Yes. So yeah. So yeah, something to think about. If you have some idea of a cool domain name.
I thought no. I actually before that, because I think I probably missed the news. I thought that SO is a shared object.
No. It's a domain name. I need to update. Okay, I will update the.
.so domain name. Yeah. Go generic. Don't have to click the link. It's just accepted. So you'll be in work.
Yeah. Nowadays, I do not know what is a static language or a dynamic language anymore. Because
C is a dynamic language.
Yeah, C is a dynamic language. It's ridiculous. You can so many ways to shoot instead of the word. So nowadays, even Python actually comes with type checking, for example. So even JavaScript. Even JavaScript now sooner or later will have some type checking as well. So I do not know what is a static and dynamic language. So that being said, yeah, I think here, this one is interesting for history reason because Delphi used to be one of those high-level languages.
I actually missed the period. Is the Delphi like Visual Basic, right?
No, Visual Basic is their own thing.
No, I mean
That
the
actually,
development is like what you call it,
yeah, yeah,
the UI assisted. What could
correct,
there's a
correct,
name for it? Yeah.
correct. So I do not know whether you guys actually still do this because I
No,
don't remember doing this anymore. But it used to be when people build user interface, you can actually drag and drop the widgets. Then each of the widgets are tied to some codes.
Yeah.
From the code, then do your thing. So
my
all that.
my first drag and drop program is actually LabVIEW.
Yeah,
Everything is drag
that
and
is
drop
not
there.
correct. So nowadays, user interface are not built this way anymore. Not even for mobile. I don't believe mobile are built this way anymore.
Oh yeah,
So
it is for
It is.
what do you call this, for iOS especially.
iOS is
I mean, you don't do
Android if
Java
you use
based type, but yeah,
yeah, Android
the
as
concept
well.
is like
So
this.
even Flutter is not really
Oh,
that
there
like
there are two trains of thought there. One is like you do it as code, and so you have your,
yeah.
like, you do everything by code, or
the
you do
the
everything by
decorative
drag and drop.
versus imperative
Yeah.
camera.
right,
Yeah,
One
but
is
in iOS they just, like, in iOS development it's really more of the, you drag the object and then you put behavior and then you have slots
yeah.
or whatever, right?
They
That's
they
the
emphasize a
difference.
lot of the tool was meant. I mean, emphasize for iOS development. That part is really emphasized for designer,
Hmm.
so they can
Yeah,
do it and just throw it to the
yeah. And
coders to
behavior.
finish it.
So you have like very minimal things, and then the developer like does the glue for everything else, or does all of the logic.
right. So on Windows, especially on VB, this is one of those things. When .NET is out, the .NET application, the ASPX and all that, also built this way. Which actually to me is very interesting, but I just don't do it when I start doing web development, so things get a bit different on
Yeah,
that.
for a period of time, people were trying to replicate this to web development, like
Yeah,
the Google Web Toolkit, and also in Python,
yes,
at one time there was something called pajamas.
correct, correct. So, but this still exists for actually WX Windows and Qt. Qt doesn't have that. I forgot about that. I totally forgot. And for Qt, you can actually tie that to your Python code, for example, because you can. So, yeah, it's still a thing, like just not as common in my circle. Must be my bubble. So, yeah, but game nowadays you had a lot of this. So for example, you use the Go engine. You have some GUI preview and all that for you to actually write the code. So yeah. So either way, you should look at this because it shows you the idea of how people build application those days.
It's
It's
over the years, like this was how most people did it back then.
correct, and also database application. I don't think you guys do this way nowadays, but it used to be like Access. People used to build application like Access with basic and all that. So either way, a cool story. Check out the links. We do share it there. So yeah. Next one is Go 1.16 out. So now you got embed.
Yeah. I
Then
don't think you need to go to the link for the Go.
yeah.
So Python pattern matching is accepted.
Yes. So this will go into Python 3.10. So the version after the no actually
It'll confuse the non-tech people like 3.10. What's the diff? If you what's the difference between 3.1 and 3.10?
Yeah.
I mean, I just realized it's something that so straightforward. I mean, so obvious for most of us, but it might confuse people like that.
Correct. Because it's not a design mode. So we know automatically that this is not a design mode. So, but I think this is a better example is actually by Guido. We don't have a proper example for the pattern matching. So the simple case is you have a case of numbers, then you got this. But you also have things like you can use the OR pattern to match a pattern.
Yeah, the enum pattern or the
Yep,
sum type.
Yep, you can use the.
I like this. This is the very the one that match only certain cases lah with value.
Correct. So then what
So
else?
this you can do a fish bus easily.
Correct. So and also you can have multiple cases. You can match multiple cases as well in the list, etc. So this is actually very powerful. People that used to start from C and C++ do not actually.
But
actually
my concern is gonna be how much overhead is gonna introduce.
Correct. This is actually one of the things people worry about. But it's a good abstraction. I like this abstraction, but it's just me.
We just have to measure like when it's released.
Correct. So run your profiler and all that. So I think that's all for Bus Corner. And the reason why I get Bus Corner for so long is
It's
really
2 weeks.
because,
2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks worth
And
of.
And I'm out of topic. I'm out of topic.
No, I thought you were gonna talk about the hardware stuff, the embedded.
Yeah. But it's not prepared because it's not prepared because I'm still drafting the content. But let's do two announcements first. Announcement number one, I'm hogging my Patreon to so that we can actually raise some fund for future of DevKami because infrastructure is not free. So the links for it is on our blog. So you can use this. And the reason why I tell you guys that is some of you guys actually know where I live.
If you know us, just if you have contact with us, just if you want to pull or something, just ping us directly. I'm actually okay with it. With this is that we have to pay Patreon a lot for.
Correct.
For
or if you precisely. This is one way. Another way is if you actually know us, talk to us, we allocate the money, save some money for paying in case we actually steal your money. Okay, more seriously, the infrastructure do need cash, so it comes from our pocket mostly. So, but if you guys want to help DevKami to pay for infrastructure, if you think we're cool, you can contribute some money, talk to us as well. Don't forget about that. So yeah, the Patreon thing is just formality. So that's one. So the second one is I'm having as you can see,
for the Patreon as well is for like if you need a receipt or something.
Yeah,
is to provide a receipt.
Correct. So next one. Next one is I'm planning a series. I already planned for like five episodes for the hardware hacking. It may or may not start next week, but it will definitely start. It will definitely have something the week after. So, but chances is next week I may start episode 1. But the thing that I'm not sure is what you want to know about hardware hacking. So
what's the general outline? Do you mind making it larger and then everyone can see it?
Let me do that. So so the episode 1 is about is very general. So for example, like what you want to do with hardware hacking, we call use case. But the thing is, what else? A lot of these are based on our experience. So you may want to know what you can do. We can tell you what you can do, but you also want to know what you cannot do. That is a bit harder, but you need to ask us for it. So I will share the link as well. You can join us and tell us what you want to know, or you can leave it in comment. Then, of course, one thing about the hardware hacking show is that we will use Raspberry Pi as well, but we won't be covered. We will only focus on the things that interface with sensors, with external peripheral that is not USB, right? Because if you use USB, then the controller will be the thing on the USB itself. So it won't cover pure software use case. So if you want to more about using your Linux, the Raspberry Pi, or other single board computer as a Linux server, that would be another show. So there's something else I plan to do. But most people in DevKami are Linux users, so we might do it just because, like, we might just do it just because. So that people want to come to us to learn about Linux, we might do that, but that's the future. So we will focus on things to interface with GPIO, and we will also cover about the options that's available. So in this case, what's the development board that we can use? What's the software environment? What language? In this case, we will also cover what language. What you can actually do. So that's the outline. But the thing is, this is actually a bit hard in a way that if you're going to say this, you can say we can do everything, but we need a limit. But so you need to tell us what you want to know, what you can do, what you want to know. This is the most important part. Of course, we're going to cover about the interfaces that's available, I2C and all that. What it is, why you need to know that, and how you actually do hardware hacking. You have the Arduino, then next, what next? So in this case, you interface it on the breadboard, or you use a growth connector, etc., etc. So this is just episode 1, right? Which we may split into multiple parts, but let's see. It's likely that I split in multiple parts. So I have the outline, but I just hope to see how you can tell us what you want to know.
I think we have a question by Jeffrey.
It will be this episode will be like every Thursday. Every Thursday it will be our usual show for Thursday, except that for those Thursday, for example, like next week, it will be focused on hardware hacking.
So it is it's live content. It's the same DevKami show. It's just focused on these things.
Correct. So the next one is wrong tab. So the next episode is we'll cover things like how do you program the Pi, how do you program the Arduino. The content for that currently is mostly software for now, but I got a feeling that I may need to add one more episode on how do you interface a thing. So that's the thing that I'm not very clear about. So for example, I may or may not add an episode for interfacing with sensors. How do you interface with I2C, your serial and all that? So I don't have that here. I do not know where to put it. That's my problem here. So it's something that so I'm still working on that. So yeah, because for me, I worked on this for so long, so a lot of things I take for granted. So you have to tell us what you want to know. It goes back to that. So yeah, anything.
No, like if anyone has any suggestions, anyone who's watching, maybe you can scroll up to the first part, so that people can see. Okay, this is generally what you'd expect, and is there anything that you'd like to be covered, or like anything you'd like explained, and then we'll try to include that in the list.
In fact, I'm going to share you the documents so that you guys can comment as well.
Are you going to do this like a tutorial type or just a general
high level? It's a high level. This will be a high level.
So you're doing PowerPoint
no,
basically?
No, it's high level with some demo, which is why I cannot guarantee to be ready next week, because I actually need to write the code for it. I will definitely. One thing I will need to add to the product side is difference between prototype and designing product. I think I need to add that. That's a very good one. This is actually a very good one, because I can't tell you how to build a product because those things have a lot of intricacy for it. But I will put that in here. The difference between prototyping and difference between prototyping and hacking. So yeah, I will add your idea to this. You can't build a product at the end, but I will give you direction. I will give you direction how to go up from there and resources. So the link that I shared is actually a document. You can leave your comment about what you want to know. Then I try to integrate it.
I'm gonna be bored. I actually tell this to people from time to time that I drink coffee
Yeah.
for the caffeine.
Yeah.
So if I need the correct dosing, I'll just get a liquid caffeine and dose it accordingly.
Yes. So either way, I will do this.
Sorry.
I will.
I'm a horrible coffee drinker.
So two things you can expect from the hardware hacking show: introduction on what is available, some demo about what you can or cannot do. So for example, I might use this as a demo, for example, or the new Raspberry Pico. So there's many options for it. So let's see lah. So it's a part. It will part demo and part presentation. But I expect a lot more idea from you guys, a lot of question from you guys. So yeah, so this would be something next week or the week after. So yeah, anything else you guys have? Not we may end early or something. Oh yeah, before guys, are you guys interested on setting up a Linux server on the Raspberry Pi thing as well? I can use this as an excuse to build my own home.
Or just in general, yeah, it's a good way to demonstrate lah, but also it can be just a Linux server in general.
Yeah.
Raspberry Pi is to pass the romance that Raspberry Pi can be a different machine.
Is this a commentary on the political news about the Raspberry Pi?
That is over. That is partly there, but that's way over. It's over now.
So what? So did they refund the Pis, or are they actually training?
No, they didn't even start. No more discussion on that.
Oh, okay.
Now they move to another issue.
It's a bit pity because some folks are doing a great job, like the Kinabalu coders.
Yeah.
They are.
It's actually good hardware.
Yeah.
I actually showed it to some non-tech people yesterday. I'm surprised that it's for something that we take for granted. It's not something that everybody knows.
Yes.
They were pretty surprised but pleased to see the form factor and the pricing. So a lot of people see it on the news, but if you have no context, it's just another random words that just skip through.
So it's easily a thin client. So you know how I game with my M1 Mac using Parsec, right? Because you can't really game on the Mac. Parsec has a client for the Raspberry Pi, so you can play AAA games on the Pi, but just using the Parsec. The latency is not that bad actually. It's like the maximum would be around 10 milliseconds if you're using H.264, because the encoding is faster like that. So 10 milliseconds, including for the decode, encode, and including the network if you're on the LAN. And since the Pi has 100 gigabit like networking, then it's not that bad. It's quite functional.
So yeah, that's another story. So now they move on with the laptop being alone, which is another thing. So we have a lot of little issues. So yeah. So either way, Jeffrey, you just remind me that a few things I need to add. Episode 1 that I might extend episode. I might actually split the episode into a few more things. I might split a few more episodes for that as well. Let's see.
Yeah. So let's go through the chats before we go. Kyril says he likes this Clubhouse channel.
Welcome to DevKami Clubhouse. You do not need to pay for 2,000 ringgit phone to join.
I don't know what works on my TV.
And it works on your TV. No, the Clubhouse works on the TV.
Clubhouse works on TV.
Our Clubhouse works on TV.
Yes.
Haircut.
Sumi got a new haircut for the Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Did you shave it yourself or you get it outside?
I get it outside when they allowed it.
Okay.
Yeah, Mars is getting
You clean it
crowded,
that
so
way.
we have a lot of silicon-based
Yes.
stuff there.
You get a
Yes.
rust
Yes,
as
China
well.
has something going on.
China had an orbiter and a rover, a
Mhm.
lander and a rover. Ignore me, I'm saying space net.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rust
Rust is really
is more
interesting actually.
interesting. Well, it's closer to the metal than Go.
Yeah, correct. Whereas Go is something more like Java, in a way.
Yeah.
What is
If you
what is
want to say
targeted
it's
malware?
That is the Android emulator.
the Android emulator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So visual programming. I guess that's where the
Uh,
Visual
a bit
Pascal.
different. It's
Visual
very
C.
different actually, Nicholas, because
No, I remember there's something. It's called. There's a name for it. Wait,
Yeah.
you guys go on. I'm gonna find it.
So
So
there's
because I have to,
Mhm.
okay, so traditionally when Microsoft take up the brand Visual,
No,
and
there's a
programming,
name. It was a hype back then, along with Flash as well. I forgot about the name.
yeah. So, but the idea of Visual is on the GUI side, meaning you drag and drop your widgets, then you program you tie your widgets to the code. It's MVC lah. We call that MVC, but except the designer is Visual. So that's what they mean. So you use like Visual Studio, which is why you got the Visual programming part. So from there you actually expand to Visual Basic.
Oh, it's called RAD back then. Rapid Application Development.
Application development.
RAD.
And even that is not called Visual programming. No,
It's called
no
RAD
code
back then.
programming now. Yes.
Yeah, it's called.
Yeah. So
But RAD is some idea. Is some
I
idea
don't know how to
for
pronounce Delphi.
I call it Delphi.
Hmm.
yes.
This is
The
from the
Oracle of
Greek
Delphi.
Greek thing, right? So Delphi.
Correct.
Let's look at the
Ilex is a word I've never heard in a long time.
Yes. It's
Mm,
available on Linux and all that.
A sponsor page. So yeah, that's just a reminder. So I think Swimming talked about it. This is for the infrastructure, mostly StreamYard actually, for the thing.
Correct.
And it's not just for like so we're not just using the StreamYard for DevKami. It's for most of the meetups that engineers.my supports. So
Correct.
this will be great. And now we're back to this one, a topic on digital to analog conversion.
Yeah.
I will,
Not really more complicated.
Well,
You just
if you're talking about a weight sensor, it's actually an ADC. That's the other way around. DACs are usually for like audio,
Sound.
because you want to like output analog signals out from a microcontroller. If it's a weight sensor, then usually it's like voltage that's analog, and then you want to convert that into proper values. So you have an ADC there.
Okay, I will add that as well. Yeah, but I will add Jeffrey's stuff to my idea as well, and I will invite a few guys over. Yeah, but even rapid application development have their own. It's so general. It involves like visual programming thing. There's a no code thing.
Why don't you, Swimming? Why don't you also add in maybe a submodule on basic electronics? Like,
let's do that.
I don't know, voltage. What is voltage? What is current? What is resistance? And then the basic electronic parts, resistors, switches, what else? LEDs, diodes and LEDs. And then maybe if you can do transistors as well.
Okay, I'm going to temporarily put episode 1, but I will definitely split it.
One of the important back then important one for learning is the thermocouple as well. You learn how to do basic calibration. Calibration is very important.
Well, if it's analog, then you need a lot of like you need basically a relative value.
Okay.
What is your 0 point?
Yeah. Huh? Or
No, Sam is saying pull up and pull down. I'm not sure.
okay, terms.
Well, I guess so. If you're doing GPIOs then and you're doing switches, then yep, you need pull ups and pull downs. But most of the time, the pull ups and pull downs are handled in the microcontroller side because you have your
Yeah.
internal pull ups and
But
pull.
the SAM does make sense in a way that when we do electronics, we have a lot of terms come to us. What is a diode? What is a inductor? Right? We have a lot of terms that we used to as we work with Arduinos and all that. I think is something that is good to introduce as well. So I put that as the terms that we use.
Yeah.
Terms that we use. So basic electronics. Okay, I think, and I will get more people. I think I will invite some people here. They're my friend that actually works in electronics for a while. So actual engineers and all that.
I actually
And
work in work in the electronics for a while.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
but-
ask for him as well. But he left for a while. He left for a while. So, but
Therefore,
Yeah.
and back then it was really different. Like it's a dream now where all these things comes about. Back
Correct.
then everything was so much more
Like
expensive.
getting a programmer, I mean, it's still the same. If you have a JTAG programmer, the original ones, like those
Yeah.
are an arm and a leg. There's like thousands of ringgit for a proper
Correct.
commercial JTAG, just one of them. But now you have all of these cheap
Microchip
programmers.
packet
It's very, it's ubiquitous now. It's been very democratized. Almost anyone
Yeah.
can just afford to get a Pi
And the
or
programmer you often you have to buy the hardware as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to buy everything.
Well, not just the hardware. You have the programmer, and then you have your software to do the programming, which is sometimes
No, you have
separate
the
from the programmer.
you have the hard. It's not the hardware as in the one that we're going to program, but the programmer hardware.
Yeah.
The programmer hardware, the JTAG, for
and
example.
then
if
you have to
do-
buy the software as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
The
Those are
compiler.
like-
what we-
It's that's where they made their thing. But then again, if you're making a lot of money with these, right? Like they want a share of that. So
Yeah.
that's everything else is so much cheaper now. Everything else can be accessed so cheaply.
Yep.
really cheap.
So I think that's all that. Do go to the link. Do go to the link. I will update DevKami website for all the things so that I can collect what you want to know as well. If
Crazy
you like to
idea.
look-
Let's see whether I can make it through. Is that I've been always wanted to build a quadcopter, but let's see how it goes lah.
Yeah. Oh, quadcopter. I know a guy. I'll bring him in. I will bring him in. I'll bring him in. As long he don't mind that this is not Clubhouse for iOS, that's fine. We don't discriminate on iOS.
Cool.
Okay.
So we'll all see you all next week. Same
Yes.
time, same channel. We
Yeah.
don't have Clubhouse. This is our Clubhouse.
club.
This is our clubhouse. We just gonna confuse everyone. We just call it the clubhouse, and we also have a Discord channel, also the clubhouse.
Yes.
No, the unfortunate part of Slack is that you have to pay to get the voice chat.
Yes.
Mhm.
Correct.
So
Discord
you'll
has
be-
free voice
you-
chat, right?
Yeah, Discord has free. So also try it out, lah. It's not gonna replace Slack. Slack is gonna be the main, but if anybody wants to do ad hoc kind of session sharing and stuff, just we have a Discord these days
Correct.
as
So
our
I'll be there.
clubhouse. We just don't care. We just call it clubhouse.
Wait, there's a Node.js conference and you don't tell me?
What is there? I don't know. What is it about?
I don't know. Oh well.
I thought
All right. So I
Node.js
think we should
things-
say goodbye now.
Bye. See you next week.
Good
Like,
night.
share,
See you
subscribe,
guys
all of
next
those
week.
things.
I'm going to
Different
Okay,
different
and
is a
podcast.
different thing. So bye anyway.